You're listening to the TalkBox sign. You're listening to the TalkBox. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, you're listening to the TalkBox sign. You're listening to the TalkBox. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Hey, you guys, it's your girl Sonia G here on the TalkBox. We got a very special guest in the building. We got Coach Maurice Vanderbilt with us, your football, the youth football league coach for the Oakland Patriots, which my grandson played for, you guys. But you know what we say here on the TalkBox? Every day above ground is a good day. We got another day, another opportunity to get some things right that we didn't have quite right on yesterday. We above the dirt, and the dirt is not above us. So, hey, we're going to make it happen. We are talking today about our kids, their future, and that's why we have Coach Maurice in the building. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm just glad that you are with us on today. I wanted to share a little bit about you, if that's all right with you.
Okay.
Let me put my specs on here. Something about Coach Maurice, other than being my grandson's coach. Love him. Coach Maurice hails from Mason, Tennessee, a small rural town just east of Memphis. He's a proud graduate of Tennessee State University, holding a bachelor's degree in healthcare administration and planning. He's been married to his lovely wife, Natasha, for 23 years. Oh, that's a blessing there. Maurice is a dedicated father to two boys, Braylon and Brennan. Braylon is making waves in football at Kentucky Wesleyan College, while Brennan is flourishing as a freshman at Providence Christian Academy in Murfreesboro. So again, we know that you're the youth football coach for the Oakland Patriots, and talking about the kids, just seeing that you have two successful young men that you've already raised of your own.
Still right.
So I know, right? So I'm sure you got a lot to say that can benefit our children here.
Well, thank you for having me. It's I know it took us a little while before we got linked up. But it's crazy how we actually linked up. You know, they say God works in mysterious ways. I know last year, as you already mentioned, your grandson plays for me. So last year I put a post out on Facebook. It was like in the 11th hour. You know, we could take a couple more kids. You know, we could take a couple more kids for signing up. So I put a post out there. Hey, if you got a kid out there that's already been in, it was like the first week of school. And so you got a kid out there, he's already got in trouble for school. It's only been 2 days in. If he got an older brother and he's out there, he's making his older brother cry. If he's cussing his little siblings out and making them cry, and he's not crying, and he's always he can win the race outside or anything of that nature. And I said, if you got that kid, I want him. Send him to me. I'm looking for him. Coach Maurice is looking for him. And your daughter, she sent me a Facebook message. Hey, I got somebody for you.
We needed you at the moment. We couldn't figure out what was going on.
Yep, and he sent them to me, and we had some growing pains, but that's my guy now, and we made some waves. We grew together. So I'm glad that she sent me a message, and we were able to get him on the team because it wasn't about football. It was about him growing as a young man. It was about him really hearing another voice,
right?
Know, and holding them accountable. So glad that we were able to link up. But I think it's just important for us to be able to, really just mold our kids. Really, I think number one, it starts at home.
It does.
It does. But a lot of people are not fortunate to have that foundation at home. Whether it's it's a lot of single mothers out there that's holding it down. So shout out there to the single mothers that's holding it down. It's a lot of fathers out there that's holding it down too.
Yeah.
So on the flip side, a lot of African-American men, they don't get the credit for, hey, they out there holding it down, because believe it or not, it's a lot of African American men that's out there that's holding it down for the kids. So shout out to those dads as well. But we do get the kids in that the dads are not in their lives.
Well, they've always said it takes a village
Yes.
to raise a child.
Yes.
And what I do know in this season, especially our African American young boys, they need some hands-on.
Yeah.
Even the two-parent household.
Oh yeah.
Because of society and things that's going on in the schools, and the peer pressure, and the bullying, and everything else, all hands need to be on deck.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what made you get into coaching the kids?
Well, I've always I grew up in sports, so playing basketball, track, back in West Tennessee, and I originally had a basketball scholarship to go play at Arkansas Little Rock. I did not take that at that time. The head coach at that time, Ricardo Patton, he was actually at Arkansas Little Rock, and he went to Tennessee State. And he said, "Hey, I know I've been the guy that's recruiting you. I'm leaving Arkansas Little Rock this year. Come to TSU, and we want you to come in and just walk on." I said, "All right, I'll do that." But when I got to TSU, oh man, it was a different world. Like, hold on, TSU was a school of. It was very, it was eye-opening. My high school I went to, it was majority white high school. So when I went to TSU, it was HBCU.
Shell shock.
I wasn't shell shocked because I didn't grow up too far from Memphis. So I wasn't shell shocked, but it was everybody right there in one spot. So I was like, oh man, like I'm gonna be a student. So I ended up just being a student, and still had sports in my heart. And as I went through school, graduated, met my wife at TSU. She asked me to marry her there. No, I'm just playing. I know she watched it. But no, we just got to TSU and graduated. And after I graduated, I got into hey, I'm gonna coach youth basketball. And I started coaching youth basketball out of Laverne. And as I started doing that, I started, my passion in my my X's and O's is basketball. So I started with basketball, youth basketball organization, Tennessee Connection, and started that. And, right now got kids that's, they're playing in college right now. So I often hear from those kids as well. But, I got into coaching doing that. And as my kids, I have a 18-year-old and I have a 15-year-old. So as they got to be 5 and 6 or earlier than that, they got into sports, and I wanted to teach them, the right way.
One thing that I've noticed, Coach Maurice, is that, because I come to the practices sometimes, you seem to be a very good father figure for the kids, and they look up to you and that sort of thing. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, if y'all want to call in and ask Coach Maurice anything you want, go ahead and give us a call at 615-893-1450. 615-893-1450. We'll be more than happy to take your calls. But as I look at not just you, but your whole staffing team, and see how impactful that you've been with my grandson and all the ones that's there. I think more people need to get into it and try to get behind our kids, because for real, our kids, they're our kids, but it's their future. It's their future that's going to make a difference, whether they're going to be a drug dealer or a doctor. Whether they're going to go to jail or be a lawyer in the courtroom, and it makes a big difference. And so I just want to commend you.
Thank you. Yeah. And my coaching staff, Coach Pat Benford, Coach Charles Booker, Coach Jason Lay, Coach Grimes, like all those guys, it's, it takes, like I said, it takes a village.
It does.
We pick the kids up, we drop them off, we take them to the game. Hey, we got something that's going on. Mom, dads, hey, I got something that's going on. Hey, we got them. We tell them that at the beginning of the season. If it's a way, if you can't get there, let us know, because we're gonna make it happen for you. So we do a lot of things, and not only that, we pull up in the classroom. You know, I'm 6'3". You ought to see me sitting in one of those kindergarten chairs and pull up on my players, and they don't know that I'm coming. So, you know, I got a lot of parents that got me on their group messaging with the teachers. They got me on the
you on my grandson's group.
Yeah, I can. They also have me where I can actually come into the classroom as well. Say, hey, I'm here to sit in this classroom.
So anyway, what he's trying to tell you guys who is listening, if you got a problem child, now you need to put them on to the Oakland Patriots football team and let them get some of that frustration out too. Now I imagine football does that for boys, is what I heard anyway.
It does. It gives them a chance to get some of that energy out. You know, we try to really steer some of that energy into where it can. We try to channel it in a good way. Where they can go out there and do it in a legal and a disciplined way. We teach hard work. We teach dedication. We teach them how to do it the right way.
Right.
So we all about the sportsmanship.
Well, I want to say commend you guys on this season too. You didn't lose too much.
Yeah.
What was your record like this season?
We were 10-1. We lost the last one. That was the one. Yeah. So yeah, we're still feeling that right here. But we'll be back next year. So had a good group of kids. It was a 5, 6, and 7-year-old league that we were playing in. Most of my kids were 5 and 6. So we'll be back next year.
Yeah.
We'll
back
be back
better than ever.
Back and better than ever. So they are all 5 and 6, and so I consider we was playing up. New league we was playing in. No weight limit. At 5, 6, and 7, and it was good. We had a good time. Just like any other league, you're gonna have 2 or 3 teams that's at the top of each division. The other teams, not so good, and that's kind of how it was. But
I don't know, a record of 10 wins and 1 loss. That's a pretty good record.
Yeah, we had a record of 10-1. It was 10-1, real good record. We we just had some good kids. We had some good coaches. A lot of times when I couldn't be there, like I said, my son plays, on the weekend, on Saturday. Sometimes, we had the other coaches holding it down. We got coaches that have other kids playing other sports, and we just step in, and all the coaches held it down, like we needed to. So it was it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Good. I do know that regardless of what was going on in the games and everything, I know that my grandson just loved it. But he came up with every excuse in the book when y'all lost that last one. He said we were just too lax, Nana. We was too lax.
Yeah.
But teaching them good sportsmanship is important too. I think one problem I have though, Coach, that you might not agree with.
Okay.
In this atmosphere now, everybody gets a trophy. Everybody is a winner. And I really feel like that's part of the problem, because when you think that you're supposed to win all the time, when they do get a little older and they take a loss, they don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
So we have to teach our kids balance.
Yes.
You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some.
Yes.
And to keep their chin up. And I'm just saying, I think that's where the school shooters come from. Because they never lost nothing. Ain't no girlfriend. They ain't never had a little girlfriend to break their heart.
Yeah.
So when those things happen, if we don't teach our kids some balance, a worse world that we're going to be in.
Well, yeah, after we lost that game, because we were 10-0, it was a championship game. The first words that came out of my mouth, hey, the same way that we win, we have to learn how to accept losing like that as well.
Yeah.
It's like how do we come back from that? So yeah, I'm not a fan of a participation trophy either. I think they wanted to send us rings for second place. Like, no, we don't. Y'all can keep those. We want the first place ring.
Right.
So no, I definitely agree with you on that. I'm not a participation trophy type of coach, but I like kids to come out and show effort. I like to see effort. Of course, we like to see results, but at age 5 and 6, it's really teaching them effort. Hey, put your 110% in every single time. Like, we don't take any plays off, don't take any reps off. So it's really just like making that embedding that mindset in them, from the beginning.
So are you going to be coaching only the 5, 6, and 7-year-olds, or are you going to have older ages now?
Well, I've coached up to the 10-year-olds, but typically what happens with me is like wherever we need a coach at, if that's the last place, that's where I go. So if we need somebody at 9 and 10, I go at 9 and 10. We need somebody at the 5 and 6-year-olds, I go there. However, 5 and 6, I would tell you, I'll be 5, 6, and 7-year-old next year. So if you got a kid out there that's 5, 6, and 7, they want to sign up, y'all go sign them up, www.mburrowjuniorpats.com. Sign them up. Our sign up's open right now. Only dogs.
Give us that one more time. www what?
www.mburrowjuniorpats.com.
Okay.
It may be my final year of coaching.
What?
Football.
Why? Why?
Why? Well, I have one that's in college, and I have one that's a basketball player that's as well that's at PCA. So, I want to make sure if I'm doing something, I want to be 110, 120% in.
Right.
But that's not to say that I'm not still going to be in the community, working with the kids.
Okay.
So
we don't want to lose you in the community.
No, I'm gonna still be there, but it just, hey, I turned 50 this year.
Oh,
about a month.
Still young.
Yeah, 50 years young. So
yeah, so I understand that. Yeah. But I do want to just put out there that you want to move in God's timing. Yes. If He don't tell you to quit, don't quit.
You sound like my mama.
Yeah, if He don't tell you to quit, I found in my life's journey that when I stop doing something, or sometimes when I start doing something, don't work out too well.
Yeah,
we got to be led on every level. So yeah, so I got that website up, and for those who listening on the radio, again, it's www.mburrowjuniorpats.com.
Yep.
And again, the phone number here is 615-893-1450. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns on tonight. Again, we are talking to Coach Maurice Vanderbilt, who has been a great help with our kids. We need to know and understand that we have to make sure that we are planting good seeds in our children. I will say this. I talked to my grandson this week. He got in some trouble.
He did.
I thought I was going to go to jail this week, Coach Maurice, because I took a belt to the school.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
But I took him around back. Didn't nobody see me.
Yeah.
But I did bring you up to him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you're not just disappointing Nana or Mama, Daddy. You disappoint Coach. You disappoint your teachers. And I just think that if we continue to pour love, interest, energy, and time into our kids, a better world will be in.
Oh yeah. I we had our team party the day that he got in trouble, and I heard about it, and it's like, he ain't coming. That's it. It's a refs. Like, no, bring him to us. Yeah. Bring him to us. So I had an opportunity to speak with him. We were team partying, but we went off to the side and we had our conversation. Yeah. And I had his undivided attention. It was like he was looking at me. It was undivided. It was nothing else there. So hopefully, after our conversation that we had, it was a good conversation, because he's a very articulate young man. He's a good kid.
Yeah, he is.
He's a really good kid. He's a smart kid. But I think he's a good kid. He just just needs to hear from another voice.
He just need some more
reinforcement.
And a little reinforcement, like you said. And I think, I don't know, that's my grandson, so I'm a little partial towards him. But I know that he's special. But I look at all the kids, though. I deal with a lot of children myself. For you to know a little bit about me, I am an international sex traffic rescue person.
Oh.
So I see a lot of kids who have been abducted, And I see a lot of kids who have gotten into a lifestyle that they didn't so choose. And so I'm very concerned about the community and about our children because they are our future, you know.
Oh yeah.
And so I again I commend you for what you do with the kids.
Well, I think, yeah, I would say, for me, it's, I don't look at it as work for me. I look at it as it's a calling. I've been fortunate to have some strong men that's in my life. Number one, my dad. I grew up in the household. My mom. I'm 50. They've been married 50 years. They going on 51 in February. So strong man. My granddad as well. Very strong individual. My high school basketball coach, rest in peace, Coach Adrian Nathaniel. I just he was just, from a coaching standpoint, that's kind of where I kind of get my coaching style from. He was hard but fair, but he was a relationship guy with his players. So he's one of those coaches that, even when I'm in college, I see him somewhere, I call him, hey coach, what's going on? We talking not basketball, talking life. Same with my dad, same with my granddad. My granddad, rest in peace as well. But
so would you say that having good role models is something that is very important?
Yes, it is. It's key. It gives you something to look up to, or something to say, hey, I want to do that. I want to help somebody. I've had kids to live in my home, who, may not have had an opportunity, for whatever reason, kind of, took them in. And, I didn't think twice about it. It was just, hey, I gotta do this. If I can help one kid, it's a win. It's a win. And if I can help one kid at that time, at that one time, and at that point in time in their life, hey, it's a difference maker.
Yeah. Well, I know for myself, and I'm sure my husband get tired because we take time we get rid of one person, we pick up somebody else. But we all have a role to play.
Yep.
I believe. And sometimes we don't know how impactful we are at a point. I had somebody come up to me this week that, to be honest with you, don't even remember helping them. I really don't. And they told me that I changed their life.
Yeah.
And I just went along with it. Then, I think a family member had to tell me, you remember you did so-and-so, because I had actually forgotten.
Yeah.
But that also goes to show that if you just be kind, if you just show love, you don't never know what impact you're making.
Yeah.
I've had some stories. I had somebody tell me one time they inboxed me, didn't even know them. They inboxed me and said that they saw me on Facebook and they were getting ready to commit suicide. And I was speaking on, it's not time yet. So I think that if we'll just walk in the roles that God has presented to us and don't always be so selfish with our time, our energy, our money, our whatever.
Yeah.
And it gives a great satisfaction. At least it does for me.
Oh no, it does. It does. It's it's nothing more rewarding than to see kids' success, from and we get to see it from youth league to middle school to high school, and we just get to see those kids, go off and get full scholarships. We get to see some kids may not go and play football. They may go and be great students.
Right.
So we get an opportunity to see that. And, it's just really rewarding to be able to see that. It's rewarding to have kids call you, hey, I got this offer. It's time for me to commit. I think I'm going to go here. What do you think? And then that's when you get into talking to the kids and, hey, you tell me, what do you think? What's best for you? Have you done your research? And just really talking through that with them. So it's just really great to really just have that where they feel like they can really call me back and I can have those conversations with them. So it's just that bond and the relationship that you're creating with the kids. It's a lifetime.
Well, that's good to know. Tanya Mitchell, thanks for watching, Tanya. Tanya said, yes, ma'am, you are a blessing in more ways than one. I don't know if she's talking about me or you, but she might be talking about me.
Talking about you.
But I know. Just kidding. But what advice can you give to a parent that feels like they're at their wits' end right now with their kid? What advice can you give?
I would just say, if it's a kid that's that's athletically inclined, get them in sports. Get them involved with some other, and do your research on the organizations that you take them to. And as far as who's going to be coaching your kid and who's going to be mentoring your kid, it makes a difference. We got a lot of great organizations that's out here. Everybody has the same goal and same commitment out there. As far as trying to help the kids in the community. But I would say, get them in sports, get them with somebody that's going to help mold them and nurture them, somebody else that's going to be another voice. And when you're bringing your kid to a coach or to, whether it's a coach or you're going to put them at a center or whatever, let the coach or the person who's going to be over them, let them know what's going on with them.
Yeah.
Hey, this is my child. This is kind of what's going on. A lot of times, we'll go in and we may be 6 weeks into the season and be like, I can't quite put my hand on it, my finger on it, but something's going on with the kid. And then, as we kind of go through, then we have a conversation with the parent. Oh, why didn't they tell me that?
First.
Tell us that early. Then that gives us another angle as far as kind of how we need to, work with it. Each kid.
It's different.
Each kid is different.
I want to suggest this as well too, especially in our community. You need to know, people need to know as well that there's more than just football and basketball.
Yeah.
There's all types of sports. Even if you got an introverted kid, there's all kinds of things. There's baseball, softball, wrestling, soccer, volleyball. The debate team, if you gotta, because the more you give a child to do, the harder it is for them to get in trouble.
Oh yeah.
To be led astray. And so sometimes we get so caught up in just football and basketball and we forget that there's so many other things out there, especially if you want your child to go to college and you say, well, I don't have the money for it. There's so many other ways that we can get our kids in college.
Yeah.
You can have a band scholarship.
Yeah.
People don't, there's all types of ways. And I think for those who are young mothers out there, you need to start looking at that stuff now while they're young. I'm old, I'm great. I'm a grandma, but you need to look at those things now and not just limit our children, because I think a lot of times our kids have been limited.
Yeah, I think just from sports in general, they got girls flag football now. They're giving scholarships out for that.
And the little girl on your team.
So, I have a girl on my team. But I think sports teach discipline. I think it teach work ethic. It teach a kid just to really, really, learn how to get in there and grind when the going get tough. What you're gonna do, because we have that. That's a everyday life experience. Because we know the going's going to get tough sometimes in life. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
So it's just really, teaching that, and really trying to teach perfection. We know they're not going to be perfect, but we're teaching effort. Effort, and we're teaching a growth mindset.
Yeah. Because if you learning some discipline and you factor in everything else, and then again, they'll be able to handle a failure. They'll be able to handle even a win. Sometimes, you got to learn how to win too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not be so egotistical or so big-headed. So we have to learn those things. Again, it's all about a balance. Coach Maurice, It's been great having you on the show. This time has gone by really quick.
I know it.
Would you like to explain anything else to our audience today?
Hey, just know God loves you. We love your kids. If you got a kid out there that want to sign up, bring them to us. www.mburrowjuniorpats.com. Coach Maurice, I ain't hard to find. Bring them to me. But hey, just, be patient with the kids. If you got your kids, y'all may hear me say it. I'm on my stories each day or my lives. You see me get out there. I always say, hey, plan your work and work your plan. And, that's all I got to say. And
that's a good one.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. I would like to give a shout out to my niece, Miss Kelsey Delamar, one of the stars of Trap City. It's in the theaters starting today, you guys. She's actually here in Murfreesboro today. Clifton Powell, the rapper Jeezy, I think I'm saying his name right. I'm so sorry. And Brandon T. Jackson.
Okay.
So they're all here. So they're having the after party over at Seasons. If you guys don't have anything to do, that's my niece, so I got to promote her.
Jeezy here. Put on for your city. Jeezy here.
Whatever the little rapper dude.
I know you're talking about. I'm just messing with you.
But I know Kelsey is the biggest star over there for me. So, because that's my niece and I love her. But anyway, you guys, our kids, their future. Let's stick together and make our community that much stronger. Again, you can reach Coach Maurice at www.mburrowjuniorpats.com. He's here to help with your kids and mine. I'm your girl, Sonia G, here on the TalkBox. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Bye.
Let's talk about it.